Hey everyone, welcome into August of 1997. We've made some really big changes here on the farm. I'm very happy with where we're at. It's very exciting how much this farm has grown, expanded, changed, everything. It's been a learning process. It's been absolutely fantastic. So we're down to $38,942. And that's because we spent $250,000 this summer. Honestly, did not plan on spending that much money, but I do believe it was well worth it. So the first thing we did was put up a new silo. Our old silo is getting to the point where I don't think it can produce enough for the amount of cattle that we have and that we're going to have this year. So I don't want to run out of silage for a third time in this series. Twice was bad enough. So I went ahead, spent the money, put up a second silo. It's a little bit bigger, has a little bit bigger capacity than our first one. And between the two, we will never have to worry about running out of silage again. So that is problem number one off the board. Never have to worry. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our feed wagon here. Oh, I guess, yeah, now that we're in the feed wagon, I also had the hoop barn moved over here for our bale storage. Brings it closer to the silos, right where we're always loading the feed wagon. Works out very well. Very happy with it being over here. It is much more convenient. So we'll get swung around here. And you're going to see we expanded our parking lot over here. And we just went ahead and got rid of some of the grass. You can see I got a new bull rack and a new flat deck trailer for the semi here. And by new, I mean new to us. They are both used. The flat deck was super cheap. It was basically ready to go to the scrapyard. I only spent $5,000 on it to purchase it. And then we put another couple thousand in it to get it at least roadworthy enough to carry bales. We won't be ever hauling, equipment with it. So we don't need to worry about, it breaking in half going down the road for that. Like I said, all we're doing is hauling bales with it, but we're at the point now where the gooseneck just wasn't going to get the job done. So I sold the gooseneck since we really don't need it now that we do have this flat deck for the semi-trailer. And I purchased the used bull rack because we're getting to the point where when we sell off our fat cattle, most of the time it's more than what our stock trailer can hold. So I kept the stock trailer it's a lot easier and more convenient to just move cattle from pen to pen with the stock trailer as opposed to getting the bull rack out. But we need to go ahead and get our Herefords fed here. And when we swing back around, we can take a look at the new cattle lot that I put in. Finally got a new cattle lot put in for our yearling Holsteins. Now we're only going to feed half of this wagon load here. They don't need the full thing this month. And the other half will go up to our dairy barn. So we'll do a load and a half up there. And that is all the feeding we need to do for this month. But we'll go ahead and take the long way around here. Now all the cattle that are left in the fat cattle lot here, these will all get sold this month. So we're going to make a little bit of money there. And over here you can see we finally have pigs in our pig barn. Part of the reason we have pigs in our pig barn is slurry is the simple answer. We do not have enough slurry to cover all of our fields, so we're spending money on dry fertilizer every year to compensate for what we're running short on slurry and manure. Well, hopefully this takes care of that. This barn itself won't take care of that, but I also added some more storage capacity to our dairy barn. So hopefully between the two, we can at least get a good chunk of all of our fields covered. I doubt it'll be all of it, but it's better than where we were. So there's 21 head of females in here. There's one boar in here. All of the females are expecting babies in the next few months. And we will sell them, try and make a profit, but I don't think we will. Or at least it's not going to be much of a profit because I am paying the co-op to feed them. We don't have the ability to mix hog feed on this farm. And in 1997, it's $160 a ton for pig feed. I figured that out to be I'm guessing right around $500 a month, at least here starting out, is about what they're going to go through for feed capacity. It might be a little less. Definitely shouldn't be any more, at least not until the babies are born and start growing a little bit. So I don't know how much of a profit we'll actually make off the hogs, but the big thing here is the slurry. That's the important part with these hogs. But honestly, I kind of figured we'd have hogs by now. I really thought we'd have them year one. So I'm very happy to finally have hogs on this farm. Took me way longer than I thought it would. But over here, we can also see our new yearling lot. Now, it took up part of our cornfield, so we did lose a little bit of acres here, not too much. Definitely well worth the amount of farmable acres we lost here was well worth putting this in. So very, very happy with that. And the way we're going to do that lot is once they're weaned, they'll be put in that lot, and once they reach 12 months of age, they'll be moved into the fat cattle lot. So we'll go ahead and get swung around here, head up into the dairy barn, get this half a load delivered up there. Then we need to do one more full feed truck load, and our dairy barn will be good. And as we're pulling in here, we can take a look back there. You can see our expanded lagoon and our new spreader. So the old spreader, honestly, it was okay, but it always left a gap. And even trying to set up an offset, it was a nightmare. So I went ahead and sold it off. We got that new slurry spreader there, and that is what we will be using going forward. I'm very excited to try that out sometime, later this fall here. So we'll start getting these guys fed, and as you can see, we're up to 156 head up here. So this barn is starting to fill out quite well. Now, we don't have any cattle that need to be moved down to the yearling lot this month, but next month there will be quite a few. So, depending on how many babies are born, the number of head up here might go down slightly next month, and that's okay, because this barn does not hold enough feed to feed these cattle for one month. So we will, at some point here, have to feed twice a day. And, I'm going to have to really focus and make sure I don't miss an evening feeding. Otherwise, our milk production is going to plummet. So we'll go ahead and get one more feed wagon load up here. And I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to sell off our milk. Oh, and I almost forgot. We sold the 4786 and bought this brand new 9370 quad track. We will be using this for doing all of our deep tillage and pulling our slurry spreader. Very excited to use that. It's a beautiful tractor. Cannot wait to get it out in the field and see, how everything goes with that. And it'll also be hooked up to our grain cart, since we know that the 7250 just doesn't quite have enough to pull it. And also in here is a new lime spreader. So this new lime spreader makes it so that we can spread lime and fertilizer, but it has a much, much bigger capacity than what the co-op had for their cart. And it also means we no longer have to rent that cart from the co-op. So it's nice just having it right here on the farm. Don't have to drive down there every time I need it. And just very happy with all the equipment we have. And I almost forgot. My goodness. We made so many changes, I honestly can't remember them all. So we also picked up a new windrower here. So we've got the Case 8860. The Case 8860 came out in 2000. However, the Case 8830 was available in 1997. It's just a slight difference. After Googling them, they look almost identical. There's not much difference. The header width is the same. So we're rolling with it. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. That's going to make going through our alfalfa field so much faster. It is not quite double the width, but it's pretty close. So you can see our new mower header here. So we'll be able to cover a lot of ground with this. And I do believe, if I set this up correctly, it's going to cut our raking time in half. So that'll be exciting once we get out in the field, see how all that works. But yeah, we, wow. I can't believe I forgot all, you know, some of the most expensive equipment that we purchased this year. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get this last load of feed hauled, and now I'll catch up to you guys when we're ready to sell our milk. All right, we've got 4,080 gallons of milk on, so we'll get this run down to the creamery and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled into the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this sold off. And we need to add $800. I was wrong. It's $600. So we're now at $49,806. And August is typically our lowest milk production month. So you can see we're making great profits now with how much our milk cows are producing. So very, very happy with all of that. Well, we'll head back to the home place here. We're going to get those Holsteins sold off first, and then we can go ahead and jump straight into chopping. All right, we got our Holsteins loaded up here. There's 7 of them on the trailer. We'll get these guys run down to the sale barn and adjust our price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the sale barn, so we'll go ahead and get these 7 head sold off here. And we need to take back $11,032. So that puts us at $56,306. So very good profit there. It's always nice making money here in Farming Simulator. And it's really nice, you know, in this 1990 series that we're able to actually turn a profit. It's good to see that, you know, it's working out that way for us. The first couple of years were a bit rough, but I think we finally got it figured out. So we're going to head back to the home place, get the chopper out, get the 7250 ready, and start chopping our silage. We have a lot of loads of silage we need to get chopped this month, so this is going to definitely take a hot minute. Got Grandpa in the chopper. I'm going to be running the 7250. And we're going to aim for about 15 loads of silage this year. That should be more than enough. It's more than what will fit in our original silo. We don't need to necessarily fill our new silo, at least not this year, but moving forward, it's, you know, going to fill up more and more every year. But we'll go ahead and get this silage chopped and see, you know, how many times we go around this field. I'm curious with how big this field has been expanded. You know, how many laps we actually make around this thing. All right, well, a few things have changed here. Dealer called me up, said he had a new chopper for me, and I told him there's no way I could afford a new chopper. But he did agree to let me demo, and we're demoing this Kloss Jaguar 880. Now, the first little bit here was it was a bit rough, to say the least. I'm trying to get this figured out, and our wagon, come to find out, is just not gonna cut it with the chopper this size. Pulling it back and forth with the tractor was taking forever. It was terrible. So called up the neighbor, and they agreed to let me rent this truck from them. So I rented this truck, and well, things are going really well now, other than speed control is a bit of an issue with this truck. It either wants to go 100 mile an hour or not go at all. But it is working very well. Unloading has been an interesting... it's been interesting. Well, I'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, everything's going well. We finally made it one full pass around the field. We're into our second headland pass here. And our first silo is going to be full in no time. This truck holds 50,000 liters. So that's very, very good. Definitely need that with a bigger header. And it's just that wagon just ain't going to work out. So if I do ultimately decide that we do want to upgrade to this kind of chopper over our old one, I'm going to have to get a truck like this as well. But we're going to go ahead, finish this out. We should be done by noon, I would think, at the latest. This is going pretty fast here. As you can tell, we are now full. So I'll head back, get this unloaded, and we'll keep chopping. So just like the wagon, we do have to get out to unload. And thankfully, there's just enough room between this hillside to and the silos here to get this thing unloaded. But really, all in all, this is honestly a pretty decent system. It took me a minute, took me a couple loads to get it, figured out and, understand what I needed to do here. But all in all, it is working really, really well. So I'll go ahead and get this silo filled, and we'll put a little bit in the other silo, and we'll be done with chopping and ready to start mowing our alfalfa. All right, and with this load, we are officially done with our chopping. Using that silage chopper was absolutely fantastic. Flew through the field. This was a great combination. So this is definitely something I'm going to have to, remember and try and figure out how we can upgrade this way. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of our chopping stuff put away. Get, the tractors and whatnot put away. Then we're going to go ahead and start mowing our alfalfa down next. All right, we've got everything mowed, everything raked, and we're ready to bale. So we'll go ahead and get this thing fired up, get it dropped down. And we've already got the bale counter reset. So last time we got 205 bales. And hopefully we get, maybe another bale or two more. But I'll go ahead and hammer this out and, we'll see how much we end up with when we're done. All right, we are coming up on the end here, and we're sitting right at 200 bales. So we're like 5 bales short from our spring cutting, which is disappointing to say the least. Not really sure what happened. Nope, we are 4 bales short. I stand corrected. But we'll go ahead and get all of these bales picked up here and start spreading some manure on this field once we get them all picked up. That way it is fertilized and ready to go for spring. Hey everyone, welcome into October. Back in August, we went ahead and finished picking up all of our alfalfa bales. Got the manure spread on our alfalfa field, so it is ready for spring. And in September, we got all of our chores done, sold a little bit of milk. As you can see, we're at $58,531. And we also moved some cattle around. Honestly, we moved quite a few cattle around. So we've already got the feed wagon loaded here. So we'll run around and take a look and see what we got done last month. So as we come around here, you can see our Hereford pen. All of the babies are gone. It was finally time to get them all weaned last month, so these guys need half a load. So we'll go ahead and get them half a load and move on to our next pen here. All right, we got them fed. And as you can see, we now have some fat cattle, some fat Holsteins in this lot over here. So we'll go ahead and get these guys topped off. And I do believe we might have a few more that need to get moved over here this month. I've decided at 12 months of age, we'll go ahead and move them out of the yearling pen and move them into the fat cattle pen. And we'll go ahead and jump out here so we can take a look. We have a bunch of new baby pigs. Everybody in here is doing very, very well. They're all very healthy, very happy. And the baby pigs are absolutely adorable. My goodness, they are absolutely tiny. So, one issue I found. This amount of pigs produces way too many baby pigs. When they were born, a whole bunch of pigs were sold off because there wasn't enough room in this barn. Did not realize that was going to be a thing. That was my fault, and I had to do a mad scramble to figure out how much we sold to get our price adjusted, and I'm just going to consider those pigs as pigs that died off, that didn't make it through birth, and make them a zero factor. So we are sitting at the proper income here, but yeah, that was not something I was expecting. But I am very happy to have baby pigs on the farm. We're going to raise them up to about 6 months and get them sold off. So they won't be here for very long, but we can sure enjoy how cute they are while they're here. All right, and this is feed wagon load number 2. And we're going to go ahead and give half of this load to our Herefords over here in our yearling pen for the Herefords, and the other half will go into the yearling pen for the Holsteins. And we'll go ahead and give this other half to the Holsteins here in the yearling pen. And as you can see, there are a couple that are bigger, so we do need to get some cattle moved out of this pen and over into the other pen today. And right across the alleyway here, you can see all of our Herefords that just got weaned last month. Everybody's running around looking very good. They don't look too disappointed to be pulled out of the pen and moved into their own pen here. And the 2 big ones are our 2 bulls. So gosh, I don't think I mentioned it. We did end up purchasing a new bull. I think I completely forgot about that. Yeah, so this summer we ended up buying a heifer bull. That way our heifers could get bred and not be inbred by their own father. So yeah, that I completely forgot about that. My apologies. But we got 2 more feed wagon loads we got to get hauled up to our dairy barn yet. So we'll get those taken care of and take a look at how all of them are doing up there while we're feeding. All right, and we're pulling in here to our dairy barn. We'll go ahead and get these guys fed their 2 loads. This is load number 1. And you can see we're sitting at 184 animals in this barn. Now, I do know there's no animals that need to be moved out of here this month, but there will be a few next month. Well, you can see the barn is filling up inside here. We got a couple new babies in the barn currently. Got a couple sitting outside. And they are absolutely adorable. Love the baby animals in this game. And you can see our pasture is absolutely full of animals. There are so many dairy cows out here. I absolutely cannot believe how far we've come in this series. I honestly had no idea we'd have this many cattle on the farm. I'm very, very happy with where we're at. So we'll go ahead and get our other feed wagon load brought up here, and then we can go ahead and sell our milk next. All right, we've got 6,500 gallons of milk on. So we'll get this run out to the creamery, get it sold, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to take off $500. So that puts us at $75,949. So we'll head back to the home place. We're going to go ahead and get a couple of those cattle moved, and then I will catch up to you guys when we are ready to start our harvest. All right, so as you can tell, we have officially started our harvest. We're starting in the bean field all the way to the south, and we have our first grain cart load of the 1997 harvest season. I'm very excited about this and cannot wait to, get all of this harvested and get to the point where we can sell it. Selling is by far the most fun part of farming simulator for me, at least. But I got the 7250 hooked up because it is a faster tractor. Now, it struggles a bit pulling up hills in the field, but going down the highway, it is significantly faster, and I do believe it will keep up better, especially in beans, as the combine won't fill up as fast. Now, when we get switched over to corn, I might have to get the four-wheel drive out. Not sure yet. you know, as the home place field especially is pretty hilly, and I just don't think the 7250 will get the job done, especially in corn. But for now, we're going to run this with the 7250 through beans and see how things go. But I'll catch up to you guys here after a bit and see how harvest is progressing. All right, we have officially finished our first field. I've got 10,925 liters on from finishing up that field, and we're now into our second and last bean field for this year, and just getting it opened up. Got both combines rolling. So far, everything has gone absolutely fantastic. No issues, and I'm very happy with where we're at. Now, I do have some plans coming up for when we do get harvest done. But for now, we need to worry about getting harvest done. We've got a lot of work ahead of us here. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for it and very, very ready to have these beans done. Beans are fun. They make a lot of money. But corn is definitely where it's at. Being born and raised in Iowa, corn is king, and there's no change in my mind. All right, we have officially wrapped up our soybean harvest here. We ended up with 303,195 liters of soybeans, and I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Harvest has gone absolutely perfect so far. Both combines are running really, really well, haven't missed a beat. And same with the grain cart and the grain cart tractor. Everything's gone very good. So we're going to go ahead and get switched over to the other bin, get the combine switched over and ready to rock and roll in the corn, and we're going to start our corn harvest as soon as possible. All right, we have officially started our corn harvest. We're starting out here at the home place, knock out this big field, and then we can jump up to home north. And I'm really excited about that field with the major expansion we had on it this year. I absolutely can't wait to see, how many bushels we actually get off that field now. But I'll go ahead and catch up to you guys when we get our first grain cart load and see how far around the field we actually make it. I want to say we only made it like 3/4 of the way around the field last time we combined corn in this field. So I'll be curious to see, how this actually shakes out here. All right, well, we made it about the same distance around the field as we did 2 years ago when we combined corn in this field. So pretty happy with where we're at. I genuinely don't remember how much we actually got off this field in total, but I do know it's going to be a lot. Well, we've officially finished getting the end rows knocked off this field, and we're on grain cart load number 2. So our yield is definitely really, really good. Very happy with that. And this is going to take a hot minute, as always, but the corn harvest is always the most exciting part of the year for me, so I'm okay with it taking a little bit extra time here. All right, it is about 1:40 in the afternoon, and we're getting pretty close to halfway through this field. We've already got 244,825 liters. So we're having one heck of a corn yield this year. And between this field and home north place, I'm expecting us to be somewhere pretty close to, well, let's be optimistic. I'm going to say we're going to get 700,000 liters of corn out of this harvest, which would be honestly insane. So yeah, things are going great. Very, very happy with where we're at. And I will catch up to you guys when we get this field completed. All right, we are finished with the home place field. We ended up with 478,669 liters. Very happy with that. It's a little short of where I wanted. I was really hoping we'd hit 500,000, but I still have faith that we'll get at least 200,000 off of our home north field here. And I've also hired up a worker on the 1586, and they're rolling with the baler. So they're going to get some baling done while we're finishing up our harvest. And yeah, pretty happy with how everything's going. It's nice being able to have this many workers rolling all at once. So I'm going to get up to the north field here and hopefully catch up to the combines before they get filled up, as they are already rolling. But yeah, the goal here is for another, well, at this point, you know, like 225,000 liters. I'm really, really wanting to hit that 700,000 liter mark for our corn. It'll be the first time we've ever harvested that much corn in one harvest, and very, very excited to try and get to that point. So I'll catch up to you guys here after a little bit and see how things are coming. All right, we just got our first grain cart load off this field, and I don't even know if we made it 3/4 of the way around. These end rows are crazy long. Now, this field's super narrow, so it's a bit misleading as to, you know, how much corn we're actually going to get off this field. But so far, I'm pretty happy with where it's at, and it'll go pretty quick once the field's split into two, you know, sections, as we have a little bottleneck down here. But so far, pretty happy with where everything's at. Now, the problem is, I'm so far away from the farm at this point, I'll never get caught up, or get back up here, I should say, before the second combine fills up, because it should be pretty close to full already. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped down at the bin site here, and hopefully not, you know, hopefully the combine doesn't have to sit for too terribly long. All right, well, our grain bin is full, so that means the rest of our corn has got to be sold this month. I didn't think that would happen. And apparently my bin does not hold as much grain as I thought it would, so that's, you know, kind of an issue. But we're definitely over the 700,000 liter mark. That grain bin holds 690,000, and we've got a full trailer load here. Plus, we're not done combining yet, so I'm guessing it's going to be like a 1.5 trailer loads here that we're going to have to get sold. So we're going to run this down to the co-op quick before they close and get this sold off. We got about 4 minutes to get down there, so we need to kick it in gear, but we'll go ahead and get this sold off, get back, and finish up our harvest. All right, we made it into the co-op with 1 minute to spare, so we'll go ahead and get this trailer load sold off here, and we will adjust the price accordingly. And we need to take $10,510 off. So that puts us at $72,987. And like I said, well, I'm assuming it won't be a full trailer load. I'm pretty sure it'll be a partial, so we'll get back, and I'm sure by now the combines are full and not running, so we need to get back and get them going as soon as possible. Try and get this field finished up and get our harvest finished for the year. All right, our harvest is officially finished, and we ended up with 959 bushels on this truck, so about 3/4, maybe a little more than 3/4 of a truckload that we got to get sold off next month. The co-op is closed, so we can't make it down there today. But we've got a very busy month ahead of us next month, and we got a lot of maintenance we got to get done tonight yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything cleaned up, maintenance up, and I will see you guys in November. Hey everyone, welcome into November. We have a very, very busy month ahead of us here. We've got baling we need to get done, fertilizing we need to get done, some fall tillage we need to get done, and as always, chores. So we're starting out with our chores, and we've got 3 loads of feed we need to get hauled here this month, and some milk we need to get sold, and corn. I almost forgot that, yeah, we still have some leftover corn that we got to get sold. So we'll go ahead and get all of these cows fed here, and then move on to selling our milk, get our corn sold, and then we can start into the baling. All right, we've got 8,108 gallons of milk on. So we'll get this run to the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to add $1,060. All right, so that brings us to $82,260. Absolutely fantastic. We are really, really starting to make a lot of money with our milk, and it's, absolutely fantastic that we're able to do that. So we've still got plenty we need to get done yet this month, so we're going to head back to the home place. I'm going to go ahead and get the semi hooked up to the hopper. We'll get that one load of corn sold, and hopefully Grandpa's back at the farm by now, this morning here, and we can get him spreading some slurry out on our bean ground. All right, well, Grandpa hasn't shown up to the farm yet. Not a surprise, it is a little early in the morning for him. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get this corn sold off, and we're not going to take it to the elevator today. The neighbor called. They asked if I had some corn to sell, and I told them I just happened to have a not quite a full trailer load, and they offered $3 a bushel for it. So we're taking it to them because the co-op is only paying $2.45 a bushel at the moment. So we'll see if I can get pulled in their driveway without, destroying my semi here. And they're just down the road from us. As you can see, this alfalfa field on our left is our alfalfa field. This is the one that we just expanded this last year, so they're nice and close, and I'm very happy that they want to buy some corn from us. All right, so we need to take $11,526 off. So that puts us at $85,138. Not too bad. Definitely a little disappointed in the current corn price, but hopefully here, in the future, we can get a little better price. Maybe see what, what comes of this spring anyway. All right, well, we went ahead and combined the two bean fields into one. So that is going to be one gigantic field, and see if I can catch up to him here. I got Grandpa rolling out in the field, spreading some lime here. And we're going to go ahead and bale. Well, we'll jump up into the menu here, and you can see I extended the end row a little bit on field 2425, and we went ahead and combined all four of those fields into one big field here. So that is definitely a gigantic field now. Originally, I kept them separate because I didn't know if I'd want to have different crops in them, so kept them separate. But at the way the farm is working out, that's not what is happening. So there's no point in having, that little grass strip in the middle if we're not going to use it. Or if, there's really no point to it. We just will plant in it and make some money. So that's what I did. Grandpa's spreading lime in it right now. We've got to spread lime in those two fields this year. Don't need to down here in the home place or home north. So we'll get that lime taken care of, then we can get the slurry taken care of, and then we can start cultivating. And that cultivating is definitely going to take a hot minute. That is for certain. And so is this baling. This is definitely going to take a while. So we'll go ahead and knock these out, and I'll catch up to you guys here a little bit later on in the day and see, how things are progressing here. All right, we got all of the lime spread, all of the bales picked up, and we ended up with 300 stock bales. That's insane. Didn't think I'd end up with that many, but I'm very happy with how many we did get. That's going to be, a heck of an income this winter. Now I've got the four-wheel drive on the slurry spreader here, and this is doing a significantly better job than the old one did. So I'm very happy with that. Got a worker hired up in the 7250 spreading manure. And I've got another worker hired up in the 1586, and they're running the small cultivator in the bean stubble, as you can see up ahead here. So things are trucking right along for us here this fall. Now, not sure how far, for this manure and slurry is going to get us. I don't know that we're going to get this field, the bean stubble field, done with the manure. It's just a really big field. So I think we got maybe one more spreader cart load of manure left, and that'll probably be about it. So I'll finish up that field with a slurry once I see how far he gets. And we'll run slurry as far as we can and cover the rest with solid fertilizer. But so far, everything is going quite well. I'm very happy with where we're at. I just wish I had a bigger cultivator, so that's something I need to look into, see if, maybe the dealership has something a little bigger so we can cover a little bit more ground a little bit faster. And, we have this nice new quad track here, so we have plenty of power to pull something, pretty significantly bigger than what we currently have. But we're going to go ahead and finish getting as much manure and slurry spread as we can here, and I'll catch up to you guys when we run out. All right, we have officially run out of both manure and slurry. We ended up getting all of the home place field done, and I'd probably call it close to half at least for this home north. So very happy with how far we got. Didn't think we'd get this far, but it went a lot farther than I thought it would. So we got a little bit of dry fertilizer we got to spread here to get our nitrogen on the ground for this field. And I've got both the 1586 and the 7250 running the cultivators right now and getting fields cultivated. So we're getting very close to being completed here. Pretty happy with, how everything has gone. And we'll go ahead and finish this up. And I will see you guys probably in December when we're ready to sell off our hay bales and corn stalk bales. Hey everyone, welcome into December. We've got a lot of cattle to get fed this morning. We got 4 loads of feed we got to get hauled here. We got some milk to sell off, and by some I mean a lot. I don't even know if it'll all fit on one trailer. And we have a crazy amount of bales to get sold this month. So we should be making plenty of money, and it's always exciting for, making money. So we'll go ahead, hammer out these chores quick, and I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to sell off the milk. All right, we've got 8,443 gallons of milk on, and that is a full trailer, and we still have some milk in the barn. So we will end up having to make 2 trips here this month, and that's absolutely fantastic. So we'll go ahead, get this load run into the creamery, get it sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're down here at the creamery, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. And we need to take off $325. So that puts us at $67,792. We are really, really starting to make a killing with our milk, and this is absolutely fantastic. So we'll run back to the farm, reload with our last little bit of milk, and get it hauled back in here and adjust the price accordingly again. All right, we've got another 484 gallons on. So we'll run back and get this sold at the creamery as well. All right, we'll go ahead and get this last 484 gallons sold off. And that is dead on. It's within $2, so I'm not going to worry about it. So that puts us at $69,080. So we're done selling off our milk. Now we can run back to the home place, get this milk trailer dropped, pick up the flatbed, get loaded with some hay bales, and start selling off our hay. All right, we've got our first trailer load of hay bales here, and we're going to go ahead and get these sold off. Now, I'm not going to sell off all of our hay bales, as we do have a lot of feeding we do for our cattle. And I'm going to go ahead and save about 100 bales just to be sure that we can make it through the winter and through the early spring here. So that being said, probably going to have to look into expanding some more alfalfa ground yet. If we want to keep being able to sell hay bales, we're definitely going to need more ground. All right, we are down here at the bale sale, and we'll go ahead and get these bales sold off. All right, we need to take $8,502 off. So that puts us at $77,606. So we'll make this trip a few more times, and I will catch up to you guys on our last trailer load. All right, we're down here at the bale sale with our last trailer load. We've got 31 bales on, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off. And we need to take off $6,293. So that puts us at $118,190 after getting all of our hay sold off. Or, well, all the bales that we were going to sell anyway. We've still got 100. I went ahead and did save 100 bales just to be sure. So we'll head back to the home place, start loading up with stock bales. And we have 270 of those to sell. I'm going to hold on to 15 of them. And we used 15 already to bed all of our cattle pens and the dairy barn. So that leaves us with 270 out of the 300 that we baled earlier this fall. All right, well, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and sell all of our soybeans this month. I want to go to the bank later today and try and take out a loan. I've got some really, really big plans that I'm hoping I can pull off here, but we need as much money in the bank account as we can possibly get right now before I go to the bank. So we're going to go ahead and sell off all of our soybeans. The price is not looking great next spring for soybeans, so I do believe now is definitely the time to get them sold. So we'll go ahead and get all of our soybeans sold off. We've got a lot to sell today. And see how much we end up making here. It should be quite a bit. Definitely not as much as we have in the past. Unfortunately, crop prices are down all the way across the board. But we're currently sitting at $145,281. And I'd really like to get somewhere around that $200,000 range if possible. But I don't know if that's possible because we're selling our beans at $6.85 a bushel right now. All right, we're getting pulled in here to the co-op, so we'll go ahead and get these beans sold off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to take off $33,283. So that puts us at $153,193. So we've got, probably 10, 12 trailer loads here. So we'll go ahead and get all these hauled, and I'll catch up to you guys on the last one to see where we're sitting at with our bank account here. All right, we're pulling into the co-op here with our last little bit of soybeans. We've got 519 bushels on. So we'll go ahead and get these sold off and adjust the price accordingly. And we need to take $14,910 off. So that brings us to the grand total of $204,105. So I'm very happy with where we're at. I wanted to be over that $200,000 mark, and we're over it by just a little bit. So I'm going to take this back to the home place and run into town, talk to the banker, and see what we can do about doing some financing here. So we're going to go ahead, call this an episode. And if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.